In this video, I'll provide an overview of our consumer credit assignment this week. So here is the video that you're watching right now, and then here's the link to the assignment itself that we'll go over in just a moment, as well as some instructions on how to do in-text citations per APA for that assignment. So I'll go ahead and click on the assignment link. And here are the instructions. So for the consumer credit assignment, there's actually two options. You can either do a credit card comparison where you're going to go to one or more of these websites and find 3 different credit cards and compare them. So I like these 3 sites because it allows you to do a side-by-side comparison of the credit cards so that you don't have to go directly to a credit card company's website and then have to look for information that way. Once you've identified the website you want to use and which cards you want to examine, you'll go ahead and click on this link here that will open up a Word document. And so for the Word document, it has the same instructions as what's in Canvas, but it has this table right here. And so you'll fill out the table. Perhaps you'll type in, here's an Amex, and maybe this is a Capital One, whatever the name of the credit card is, and then fill in as much of the information that you can about each credit card so that you can do your side-by-side comparison in this document. Once you have finished the chart, then what you'll do is write a 1-page, single-space, double between paragraphs, summary and reaction paper regarding your process of the credit card comparison and what you learned. We'll discuss what the paper looks like shortly. But the other option, if you don't have a need to research credit cards and you have a preference on working on debt elimination, you can develop a debt elimination plan using a website called powerpay.org. So if you click on this link, so if you're new, you'll just click here to sign up for the first time. It'll ask you to go ahead and register an account. So fill out your new user information, come up with a username and password, and then choose your language preferences. You can uncheck these if you don't want spam. And I leave the pop-up reports on. So then you can go ahead and hit submit, and that'll set up your account. So when you go into My Profile up here at the top, you can see your profile has been set up, and you can create additional profiles for different PowerPay situations. But I'll go ahead and click on mine. And we're going to be focused on the PowerPay piece of this tool. And so in this first tab, there are some options in here. And then watch the tutorial video, which explains how to fill out the creditor information and then look at the different payment calendars and information to help pay your debts off. There's also a great side guide here with more information and instructions, or some FAQs if you've got questions on how to work with PowerPay. And so what is a power payment? And so what this tool does, it helps you keep track of your debts and organizes a debt payment schedule where as you finish paying off a debt, it's going to take that money and move it towards the next debt to pay off. So those are called power payments. So you're maximizing your funds available to pay off your debts. When you're running those calendars, I recommend printing them out so you have them in front of you. I'm not asking you to turn in those calendars or printouts to me as it has your private information. But I want you to have it in front of you so that you can write your 1-page summary and reaction paper in terms of what you learned by preparing a debt elimination plan. Now, for the Appendix A, this is the summary and reaction paper format. It's the same for both assignments, regardless of which one you pick. It's also the same for future assignments that we'll be doing later in the semester. So it's really important that we get very familiar with this Appendix A. So clicking on that, here are the instructions on how to write your 1-page paper. So in the first part of the paper, this is part 1, this should only be a short paragraph, and it is a high-level summary of your work. So you'll inform the reader what sources or websites you used and explain your analytical process. So here, if we're doing the debt elimination plan, why you chose these debts, or if you're doing the credit cards, why you chose these credit cards. And then later in other assignments, whatever that topic is, why did you decide to choose these things, right? So this is a very short paragraph providing context to the reader, and it should be objective and factual. Now, the main part of the paper, this is part 2. This is your reaction to the work. So if we think about it in terms of a page, 25% of your page is part 1, and then the other 75% is your actual reaction to the work. And you need to answer these following questions. First, how does the assignment you chose relate to the ideas and concerns in the course? So you want to identify and explain the concepts from the textbook and discussions, and make sure to cite APA format. I'm looking for integration of what you've learned through the course to this assignment. If I don't see an explanation of what is a credit card, or what does debt payment mean, then I don't know if you know what that means. So you want to explain to the reader and show your understanding of the material. The second bullet asks you to talk about how the assignment and the course material that we've read related to it relates to your life, your experiences, and any feelings and ideas that you had. So what were some of the emotions that came up for you during the assignment? Were you surprised? Have you been hesitant around this topic? Whatever you're feeling, share that. And oftentimes it's related to something in your life. So what's been your personal experience around it? Now, the third bullet, this is now taking it away from the individual and looking at the big picture. How is this assignment related to our present day world? So one thing to note is that we're often made to think that individual problems are private, when in fact they're social problems or public issues. If I've got debt I can't pay, yes, that affects my personal life, but it also affects the broader economy. If I can't pay my debts, how does that impact society or my interactions with other people? And so I want you to think about the economy, the community, the world, anything where you can see that reflected in the assignment and in the topic. The last bullet asks you to explain if the assignment increased your understanding on this issue. Did it change your perspective in any way? And explain why or why not. This is the opportunity for you to reflect on your understanding of the issue. Now, the last part of the rubric is in terms of writing the paper. It's worth 10 points. Make sure to support any ideas or points that you make. Simply saying, I agree with, or I found this interesting is not helpful. Be specific with evidence that shows why you feel the way you do. Just think after you make a statement, imagine someone asking you, why? So go ahead and explain a little bit further in answering that why question. Please follow the structure above. Please make sure to carefully edit your paper for grammar, mechanics, punctuation, word use, and spelling. So it is a professional paper, so using slang or overly casual language, it would not be appropriate. Whenever you are citing the textbook, and you must cite the textbook throughout the paper, please make sure to use quotations if you're quoting, or if you're paraphrasing, make sure to cite using APA style. And so I'll show you how to do that shortly. So please make sure to submit your paper either as Word, PDF, Pages, or rich text format. So if I go ahead and click back, when you submit your assignment, you'll just click here on Submit Assignment and then upload your paper. I'm going to go back one more time. And then here, right under the assignment, I've got a page on how to do in-text citations per APA. So if you haven't worked with APA before, it's typically used in business writing. What you want to do is list the author's last name and the year of publication. So for instance, our textbook right here, it lists the authors and then the year that it was published. If you're doing a direct quote, you also need to include the page number. This is how you would cite concepts or quotes from the textbook. And then down below here is an example of how you might see it. So here I'm talking about personal financial planning, and I actually use a quote. So I have in parentheses right after the quote, the authors, the year, and the page number. And then I can continue on, and I also paraphrase this time around. Since it's paraphrased, I don't need to put a page number. And if you are curious or need more help with APA format, you can click on the APA Citation and Style Guide here, or you can make an appointment at the MiraCosta Writing Center and they will help you with the APA citations. Or you can ask me. Happy to help. So if you have any questions, just let me know.